Hey there, Patriots. So at the start of Unit 3 here, we're going to talk about isometries and translations. This first lesson is going to be all about translations. But to understand a translation, the first thing we need to understand is an isometry. Well, when you see the word isometry, what an isometry is a rigid transformation. Well, that brings up the question, well, then what is a rigid transformation? A rigid transformation is a movement. It's a movement that preserves side lengths and it preserves angle measures between the original shape and the new shape. My original shape is pre-image and my new shape is called image. So what we are going to do is we are going to start with a pre-image and we're going to move it. We're just going to move it. We are going to slide it. That's a translation. We are going to slide. You know what? Let me take a step back. So we're going to have a pre-image. And we are going to slide that pre-image onto an image. We are going to start with our pre-image. This is the shape before, and we're going to see that when we start our lesson. So we're going to have our pre-image, and we can flip it, and that'll give us my image. These are all examples of an isometry, a rigid transformation. I am going to start with my pre-image, and I can turn it, and that will give me an image. And in all three cases, the pre-image, what I start with, will be congruent to the image, meaning all the sides and all the angles will be congruent. So my rigid transformations, here are my rigid transformations. My rigid transformations are a slide, a flip, and a turn. Those are my three rigid transformations. They have special names for them in geometry. We're not going to call them something as easy as a slide, a flip, and a turn, but that's the easy way to remember an isometry. Well, we're going to talk about our first rigid transformation, our first isometry, and that's a translation. So a translation is a slide. So a translation slides a pre-image to an image. So we're going to start right here. This first star is my pre-image. And down here, this second star is my image. And we are going to slide my star. You can notice by this arrow, we are sliding the star left and down. And we can see that by the arrow. Now that arrow can be expressed in three different ways. Here's my translation. My translation says start here. We are going to start with my pre-image and we are going to end with the image. So start at the pre-image, slide it down, start with my pre-image, slide down to the image, and that's where I end. There are three ways that we can say that slide. We can literally use words. We will say go up and down or go left and right. So we're going to see this some. We mostly use vectors or our coordinate notation. So if we use vector notation, X controls my left-right direction. So if you have X, that means move to the right X spaces. If you have negative X, that means move left. Y is my vertical movement. Y is vertical. X goes left and right. Y goes up and down. So if I say positive, if I say positive Y means go up. However many spaces Y is, we're going to go up Y spaces. And if we say negative Y, that means go down. So positive X means go to the right. Negative X means go left. Positive Y means go up. Negative Y means go down. Coordinate notation tells us the exact same thing. So if we do x plus number, that means we are going to go to the right however many spaces this is. We are going to go right however many spaces that number is. If I say x minus number, that means we are going to go left however many spaces we say. So x tells me my horizontal movement. That's my horizontal movement. Y is my vertical movement. So if I say y plus number, that means we are going to go up. We are going to go up however many spaces that number says. If we say y minus number, it's not a hashtag, that means number, means we're going to go down. And we will go down however many spaces we say. Okay, so these are the three ways we can talk about a slide. I will use words to tell you about a slide. I will use a vector. Vectors tell you which directions and how far to go. We're going to go right or left, and then we're going to go up or down. And coordinate notation says the same thing. Coordinate notation, what this says is start at any point x, y. We are going to start right here. We're going to start at x, y. And then this arrow means map onto x going this far or left or right that far, and y goes up or down this far. Okay? So now let's look at our bell work. So I am going to give you a vector. Here's my vector. I want to know, will the image be translated left or right? So you got to look at which value you're going to look at for that. Given this vector, how far? Give me the number that we will be translated on the vertical axis. Vertical axis is up and down. And then explain what the coordinate notation for the translation means. So this is going to be a drop-down menu in Student View. So when you type stuff in, you will see that I started it off for you, where I'm going to say, we're going to start at the point x, y, and then what happens to the x and what happens to the y. Okay, so if you have any questions over anything about this lesson, please let your teacher know, and we will gladly help you out. And Patriots, we'll see you when we see you.